Hey, what's up, guys? It's CG Zone here, back with another WWE tier list ranking. Today we are doing match stipulations, match types. I just have a bunch of different ones for this list. I made this one myself for the first time. So I tried not. I tried to include most of the mainstream, pretty popular match types, mostly involving either some sort of weapon or some sort of enclosure or structure. I didn't really do too many matches like I don't know, beat the clock matches or Iron Man matches, or different type of just kind of somewhat normal matches with like a special stipulation. This is mostly kind of what do you call it? Kind of attraction matches, kind of more or less. I don't want to say main event, but I can't think of the word for it. Attraction match is the best way I could come up with it. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the content. So far I've been doing tier list videos, kind of just to get my feet wet with making videos. I do eventually plan on branching out. It's this is going to be a wrestling YouTube channel, obviously, as you can tell by my name. But I'm gonna start doing different things at some point, and I'm gonna show my face. I'll do a little face reveal for my for my like two subscribers that I have right now. But yeah, as my channel evolves, I'll find ways to diversify it. But hopefully, you guys are enjoying the tier list videos because that's what I'm going to be sticking with for right now. Another thing is I have a really busy schedule, so it's hard for me to really commit to like editing and shooting some really in depth type of YouTube video. So I try to do the best I can with what I have right now, and we'll keep evolving as we go on here. So, anyways, let's get back to the tier list here, boys and girls and people of all sorts. Let's start off with number one here. Oh, we're starting off huge already. Look at this. Tables, ladders, and chairs. I know that's kind of a weird picture, but I think it gets the point across here. We got tables in the picture, we got ladders in the picture, and we got chairs in the picture. What more do you want from me? Okay, so, dude, tables, ladders, and chairs. I- It I think it just deserves S tier, man. It's a really good match type, and you could do so much with it. That's the cool thing about it. It was originally started as a combination of the Hardys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys. Hardys were ladders, Edge and Christian were chairs, and the Dudley Boys were tables. They had that sick ass match at WrestleMania 17 where it was the tag team tables, ladders, and chairs match. Dude, that's like for me at least, that's like top three greatest matches of all time in wrestling. Period. Maybe even my number one on some days, but just that match alone just puts it in S tier. And I rarely find a TLC match that isn't a top tier great wrestling match. I could name five off the top of my head right now. They're all S tiers. So tables, ladders, and chairs. And you can do so much with it, Sometimes they're for a championship belt because you got the ladders in there. You have to climb up and retrieve the belt, so you could do that. Um, there's just so much to do with this match. So S tier all the way, 100%. Next up, we have the Texas Bull Rope match. Hopefully, you can see that okay. It's the one with JBL and Eddie Guerrero. Sorry, these photos crop weird on the tier list website, but hopefully you get the point with it. As you can see, some of the photos are just kind of cropped a little weird, but I'll describe what they are if you can't tell. But anyways, Texas Bull Rope matches I think they're the definition of hit or miss, dude. Like really. The one with the JBL and Eddie Guerrero one is by far my favorite. Um, and I think it is the best when it had that stipulation of having to go to all four corners of the ring and like hit it, I guess, and the light turns green. I like those way better than just the average, Texas Bull Rope where you have to win by pinfall or submission. Um, I found that those a lot more interesting, and the matches just to be better quality in general. So I'll put it in. Hmm. I'm gonna put it in C tier for now, just because I can think of more bad Texas Bull Rope matches than I can think of good. First one I can think of is Randy Orton and Dusty Rhodes at what was that? No Mercy 07? No. Great American Bash 07. Dude, that match was terrible, dude. I went back and watched that in preparation for this video. Oh my god, that match was ass, dude. And I know Dusty Rhodes was like in his 60s at the time, but good god, that was a bad match. And I love Dusty Rhodes and Randy Orton, but come on, guys, you can do better. Next up, we have the Elimination Chamber, which once again is cropped very badly. Hopefully, you can tell what it is. The reason I used, the old school Elimination Chamber photos, that's just what I think of when I think Elimination Chamber. I remember when I first found out about it, I was playing one of the SmackDown versus Raw games when I was a kid, and I had never seen it on TV before. I just saw it in the video game, and in my little kid head, that shit looked like a saw trap, dude. I was like, what is this? And, for a long period of time, I loved the Elimination Chamber and I thought it was sick. And I still do. I still do to a degree. I think what's really holding it together today is more of the performances of it. And, of course, the spectacle of the chamber itself, because it's one of those, I think, it's one of those, more spectacle type of matches, because it's a huge ass freaking dude, it looks like a saw torture chamber. Okay, how else can I describe it here? So there definitely has been some stinker elimination chamber matches, and I think next to one other cage match stipulation that I'm not going to spoil, but next to one other cage match stipulation, it's probably my least favorite out of, like, Hell in a Cell, steel cage, Punjabi prison. I'm not going to spoil which one's the worst, but you probably know. um, so I'll put it in B tier for now, because it is a little bit limiting and it's on the lower end of cage type WWE wrestling matches, but it's still pretty solid and there's still been some really good matches in it. So I'd say it's a solid B tier. All right, next up we got tables matches. Um, tables matches. I'm sorry. They're kind of D tier, honestly. I'm sorry if you're a tables match defender, but if a stipulation match is more limiting, like, a no disqualification type, excuse me, stipulation type of match type, if that's more restricting and more boring than a normal, one fall type of wrestling match, then I don't know what to tell you, man, because tables matches are boring as hell, dude. As soon as things start to get interesting, then the match just ends. As soon as somebody goes through a table, which there's a reason, there's a chant saying "We want tables," is because that shit's fun, dude. That's when the match really starts picking up. But if that's what ends the match, then it's not a fun match. So maybe I'll put it in a high D, because at least there's tables in it. But as a stipulation itself, dude, it freaking sucks. And speaking of matches that suck, or at least what people think sucks, dude, Punjabi prison ain't that bad, bro. It ain't that bad. Listen, before you click off my video, I'm a big Punjabi match defender. Punjabi prison. Uh, I know the matches themselves have been kind of shit. Listen, I get it. And that's why it gets a bad rep, It's associated with the great Khali, who's one of the weaker wrestlers of all time, because he can barely move. But think about it just as a match. Like, take the whole Punjabi aspect out of it. And I know it's on the slower end of matches. And once again, it's not my favorite cage match type. It's definitely below Elimination Chamber. It's definitely below Hell in a Cell and Steel Cage. Come on now. But it's dude, it just needs to be done right. It has potential. It needs to come back at some point. If it's done right, I feel like people are going to have a very different outlook on this match type. Now, once again, and the reason that it's not used a lot also is because it's kind of a niche. You know, you have to have Indian or someone of Punjab descent for the most part involved in these matches, considering what it's called and kind of the environment of it. But I don't know, man. Number one, that shit just looks so cool. It's another one of those like torture looking things. It reminds me of like Indiana Jones. Like, I don't know. I like the vibe of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I just want to give it more of a chance. You know, I just want to give it more of a chance. So I'm putting it in B tier. Maybe I'm rating it a little too high because I'm talking about it more on its potential versus what it's actually delivered. And yeah, it's delivered some shit matches. Don't get me wrong. Most of the matches have been shit. But maybe 5 years from now, you'll click back at this video after we've had like 2 or 3 banger Punjabi prison matches by our boy Jinder Mahal or something. And you'll come back at this video and be like, damn, this man predicted the future. But as of right now, cry about it. B tier for Punjabi prison. Whatever. Next up, we got chairs matches. I'll put it in C because at least there's potential for a good quality match. But it's I don't know. I kind of want to put it in D because it's kind of pointless, dude. I'm gonna put it on the top of D right now because, dude, it's so pointless. Like, just either have a TLC match or a freaking no disqualification or Extreme Rules or any of those types of matches. Why does it have to be a specific steel chair match? I hate that shit, bro. Like, I hate those type of matches. That's why I put tables down there. I don't get it, actually. I don't. There's no reason, especially in this day and age, to have a steel chair match. So I'm not saying anything else about it. It's boring. It sucks. D tier. Oh, next up. Next up, boys. Look at this. Look at this beauty. This thing of glory. It's the Royal Rumble. You already know. Come on. You already know. Although I am going to put it under TLC. I think TLC matches are more reliable and consistent than Royal Rumbles because Royal Rumbles, like, I'm always excited for one. Like, obviously, it only comes once a year. It's kind of like WrestleMania's little brother. Like, it's a very exciting stipulation. It's definitely more anticipated than a TLC match. But if I had to, let's say you were going to show me a random TLC match and a random Royal Rumble match, and I had to bet on which one would be a better quality match, I would probably bet on the TLC match because there's been more consistent, better quality TLC matches than there have been Royal Rumbles because there's been some terrible Royal Rumbles. So still though, S tier. I mean, come on. How much higher do you want it? It's S tier. Great. I love the Royal Rumble. Next up, we have the Inferno match. Okay. This one's very interesting because on one hand, like I was describing before, it's a match that limits the wrestler because it keeps them inside of the ring. And it's not like it's not like a steel cage where, it adds to it. You can climb up and do cool tricks and stuff like that. It's just like you have to stay in the center of the ring because if not, you're going to get burned, you know? But that being said, it's always a good match. It really is. It's always a good match. I'll put it in B tier, above Punjabi Prison, but below Elimination Chamber. Similar to Punjabi Prison, it takes a very specific character type for there to be a match like that. But I still think it deserves to be there because it's just badass, dude. It's badass. B for badass, okay, guys? Look at that. These are some badass matches. Battle Royals. Another bad picture. I'm sorry, guys. I try. But you get the point. Battle Royal. Yeah, it's going top of D tier. All right. Listen. Battle Royals. It's kind of funny. Royal Rumble is an S and Battle Royal is in D. And when you boil it down, they're pretty much the same match. But not really, but kind of. Nah, dude. Listen, first of all, every time there's a battle royal, it's always like out of nowhere, and it's for like the stupidest like qualification. It's like, oh, we're having a 30-man battle royal to see who's gonna face Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship, or who's gonna qualify for the Royal Rumble. We're gonna have a battle royal to determine the qualifier of another qualifying match. Like, I don't know if that's ever happened, but that's what it feels like, dude. Every time there's a battle royal, it's just like 20 jobbers, like like 7 mid-carders, and then like 3 main eventers, and you're like, oh. And 3 main eventers if you're lucky. Sometimes it's all just jobbers and mid-carders. Most of the time it is. Um, yeah, it would be better if the stipulations were actually like for something interesting, but it just never is. It's always just some reason to get a bunch of lower card guys on TV and just have like a stupid qualifying thing. And even if there was higher stipulations on it, I don't like the idea of everybody being in the ring at once, because it's hard to focus on what's actually going on. It's just kind of a big jumbled mess. I like the Royal Rumble where it's way better paced. Way better paced. So I'm not going to I don't think I have to explain myself anymore. I feel like a lot of you guys agree with me, cuz I don't see a lot of normal battle royale matches being loved, getting a lot of love on the internet. Some of my other opinions might be controversial, so but I think we can all agree, dude, battle royals suck. Okay, let's move on. So for Extreme Rules, I'm counting like all of those different types of Extreme Rules matches, like no disqualification, no holds barred, street fight. Like it's all the same type of match, pretty much. Um, but oh, dude, definitely going in S tier. Not gonna lie, I want to put it in top of S tier because this is the match that you could just do so much with. I mean, you can take out tables, ladders, and chairs. You can falls count anywhere. You can, or wait, no, I don't know why I just said that. I mean, no. I guess what I meant to say is like you can go anywhere. You can go backstage. You can do so much. No, I'm gonna put TLC a little bit above it because it's basically, when you boil it down, pretty similar, except with TLC you sometimes get a ladder match with the title hanging above the ring. So I'll make it a little higher. And also with TLC, you're guaranteed going to be getting tables, ladders, and chairs, and probably more. Whereas Extreme Rules, I've seen Extreme Rules matches where they just whip out a chair and that's it, like one chair shot, and that's it. So, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of. I almost want to put it in A because there's been some bad Extreme Rules matches. I'll keep it an S because of how diverse it is, but it's definitely bottom of S right now. Royal Rumble's definitely better. Um anyways, I not much you can say. There's so much to be said about it that we'll just leave it at that. Low S tier. Let's move on. I Quit. I Quit. The thing about I Quit matches is they can be very predictable depending on who's in it. They can be very predictable. It is a unique and interesting match type, and sometimes if it's a really heated rivalry, those I Quit matches can be pretty damn tense, exciting, nerve-wracking. So we'll make it our first A tier. I think it's a solid A. I don't think it's as good as our S tiers, but it's up there. It's a good match. First Blood. Ugh, First Blood. I'll put it in C. It's all right. Similar to Tables, it's kind of like as soon as the match starts getting good is when it ends, but it's not as bad as Tables because it usually goes on for a longer time, and you know, I think there's been way better first blood matches than there has been tables matches. So we'll put it low C. It's all right, and we haven't had one in a while because WWE is PG and oh, we can't show blood. Huh. Okay, so oh shoot, I just realized I accidentally put an extra last man standing. Because the one that's up next is supposed to be last man standing because it has the famous Brock Lesnar lifting up the ring, the SummerSlam 20 it was 2022, right? Yeah, 2022 um versus Roman Reigns, because that's like my favorite last man standing match. And there's some good ones. But that one was a freaking banger, dude. Um you know what? Let me make this one the one that I'm gonna use because it's easier to tell what that is. But shout out Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2022. That match was freaking awesome. I don't know if I'm allowed to say Brock Lesnar anymore, but I just did. So we'll keep going. Last man standing. That's a great freaking match, man. Once again, like I Quit, it can be kind of repetitive because it's like, oh, he's gonna get up at 9, but unlike I Quit, I think it's a little bit more tense because sometimes you can't tell if they're gonna get up at 9 or not. So I'll keep it an A tier as well. It's better than an I Quit match, and like I feel like out of all of these, last man standing matches may have had some of like the best matches that I can think of next to like TLC. Uh but I'll still keep it an A just cuz it can be a little repetitive. So, yeah, we'll do that. Next up we have a ladder match. So, listen, if I was here 20 years ago doing a tier list on YouTube, which if I was, then I'd probably be a millionaire now because I would have started a trend that wouldn't be relevant for like 15 more years. But um yeah, if I was talking about ladder matches 20 years ago, um I probably would have put it at like A or S, but considering we have TLC, which accomplishes the same thing, considering we have Money in the Bank, which you know also accomplishes the same thing, it's a little bare bones for today's standards. So for that reason, I'll put it in like lower mid B. I can't even think of the last time we've had one. It's just one of those matches, like tables matches and chairs matches and stuff where we don't really see it anymore because it's a little bit outdated. It's been done better and kind of evolved. But it's still a solid match. I would definitely take it over the other. It's brothers and sisters here, tables and chairs. I would definitely take it over that, but it's not getting much higher than B. Continued. Falls Count Anywhere match. Dude, I love Falls Count Anywhere matches, man. I love them. Dude, total S tier. I'm putting it above Extreme Rules because it's basically Extreme Rules, but Falls Count Anywhere. So, you see a pattern here. The less restrictive the match is, the more that I like it for the most part. So, Falls Count Anywhere, total S tier. I mean, just Jeff Hardy versus Umaga alone. That's another like top 5 match that doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. That was a great freaking match. If there was any match I would wish I could actually no, I take that back. I was gonna say if there's any match I wish I could attend live, it would be that match, but not really, because then you're watching half of it on the Titantron. But if there was any match where I'd want to go for a bathroom break for it, it would be that Jeff Hardy versus Umaga. Because, as I'm coming out of the bathroom, I could have seen my boy Jeff fighting Umaga, in the freaking hallways of the arena. That would have been awesome. So yeah, total S tier. I love Falls Count Anywheres. Money in the Bank. Oh, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. I feel like just because of how much of an impact it has on the storylines and just the storylines of the rest of the year of wrestling, it's definitely a very important match type. It's probably one of the most important match types of the year. Up there with Royal Rumbles and I guess to a degree like Elimination Chambers and stuff. So I'm stuck between A and S. I think I'm gonna put it in the top of A right now because there have been some. It can be kind of boring in a way sometimes. Not boring's not the right word, but disappointing, I guess. Jack Swagger. um, but we'll keep it at the top of A. It's a great match. It deserves an A plus, but not an A plus plus. So, once again, weird picture. Sorry. Steel cage, steel cage, steel cage, steel cage. I'll put it at the top of B. Once again, kind of a hit or miss type of match. Get back there, Elimination Chamber. Actually, maybe that glitch was kind of right. You know what? Yeah, I think I am gonna put it behind Elimination Chamber. Yeah, I think I am. There's been some great steel cage matches, but it's kind of restricting, you know? I think it does belong right next to the Inferno match because they kind of have the same issue in a way where it's just kind of restricting. And the fact that you can open the door and just escape through the door is just the dumbest concept ever. So yeah, you're getting B tier, dude. Oh, Hell in a Cell. Okay. I mean, it's definitely an S. Are we? Is any of us arguing that? Sure, okay, it's a little restricting. Okay. I'll put it in the back of S because it is a tiny bit restricting. But dude, that's what makes it so cool, okay? That's what makes it cool. I know I'm going back on what I said earlier, but like number one, it definitely has that saw trap type of vibe. And Mick Foley and Undertaker, there's nothing more I should say. No, but I mean, jumping off the top, there's just so much you can do with the steel cage matches, you know? Like Elimination Chamber, nobody ever breaks out of that and goes to the top of it. Um, Steel Cage, there isn't a top, so you can't go to the top of it. Um, and also besides those other cage matches, you can actually go outside and go under the ring and get weapons and stuff. It's definitely the perfect enclosure match. 100%. You're never going to do better than Hell in a Cell. Sure, it's, I guess, by today's standards, a quote unquote simple concept, but sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it, dude. Hell in a Cell, total S tier. I think I'm going to put it above Extreme Rules. Yeah, I talked myself into it. I think it's going above Extreme Rules because it's more of a tight and consistent match than Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules, Hell in a Cell can be hit or miss too. There's definitely been some stinkers for sure, but it's the cell is cool. Anyways, let's just keep going. Hell in a Cell is great. Buried Alive matches. Hmm. You know what? Just because I love the concept, I'll put it in low A. I was thinking about B at first, and similar to Inferno matches and Punjabi prisons. Not as much, but it definitely probably needs a certain type of character. Like a Undertaker type of character. Not as much, but it definitely does. So I think low A tier. It's a great match, but it does have some flaws, and it's barely ever used, especially nowadays. I really can't see a buried alive match happening in current day WWE for whatever reason. It's just, I don't know. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that is kind of lost to time, I guess, which is unfortunate because I'd love to see one nowadays. But yeah, low A tier. Ambulance match, it's similar to buried alive match, but kind of less interesting. So I'll put it at the bottom of C. I can't think of too many great ambulance matches. Um, no, yeah, yeah, I'll keep it at C. I just realized I have Punjabi prison in front of Texas Bull Rope and First Blood and ambulance. Dude, I'm gonna get roasted in the comments, but I don't care, man. This is my video. Whatever. It's just how I feel. And listen, let me just defend myself with this Texas Bull Rope. I do have the JBL and Eddie Guerrero match, and if I was basing it just off that one match, it'd probably be in like A tier. But the rest of the matches that I've seen of Texas Bull Rope just don't impress me. So Yeah, we'll keep it there. I'm not going to be pressured to change my opinion. Anyways, buried alive. Hmm. Oh, I just said buried alive. I meant casket match. Very similar matches, except casket matches I feel like are a little bit worse because the casket's right next to the ring, and the set design of buried alive is like way better. I'll put a casket match in like B tier just because there's some funny memes that came out of it. No, but besides that, it can casket matches can be pretty fun. They can be pretty fun. They're definitely not my favorite, but they can be pretty fun. I just realized that the two I saved for last are kind of anticlimactic. By the way, this is a special guest referee match, if you guys were wondering. So, it's that one referee running to the ring at WrestleMania with Undertaker versus Edge. I forget his name. He's still a referee today. Shout out that guy. I forget his name. You'll probably tell me in the comments. But well, before we get to that, we'll get to uh stretcher match, which is even less interesting than an ambulance match. So that'll go right there in C below ambulance. Just boring. Don't care. Last stipulation we have is special guest referee. And this is totally dependent on the referee it is. So I gotta kind of put it in the middle in B. Um I'm gonna put it below Punjabi Prison because it can either be really good or really bad. So, okay, all right, fine. I'll put it above Punjabi Prison. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. It's there's been S tier special guest referee matches and there's been D tier. So all right, guys, that's it. And remember, this one's just the last man standing match, the extra one that I had. So the tier list is complete. S, we got all these guys. Let me see if I want to change anything around. I want to say the buried alive match is too high up. Yeah, I think it's too high up. You know what? Fine. I'll put Punjabi in C tier. I'll put it behind Texas Bull Rope. Okay. That kind of makes sense now that I'm looking at everything. Excuse me. Cuz I kind of feel like buried alive, it doesn't really belong in A tier with the rest of those. I think right next to Casket, probably above Casket is really where it belongs. Um yeah, this looks a lot better. This looks a lot better. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed my list. Like I said, more videos to come. Hey, let me know in the comments what kind of videos you want to see more from this channel. Any feedback would be appreciated. I'm still pretty new at this, so I want to see what you guys think. I've been enjoying it so far. I hope you guys have been enjoying what I've been doing. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy what I'm doing. Dislike it if you dislike it, and yeah, you'll see me in the next video. All right, guys. Peace.